Hello, Dr. Cisse covering anatomy and physiology. Today we'll talk about the spinal cord. This is the model of the spinal cord. Here, I held it such that the back is on this side and the front on this side, okay? That's the posterior or dorsal, anterior or ventral. The first thing you notice is that in the middle, you see a green area called the gray matter. Around it, the white matter. So the gray matter looks like a H or a butterfly. You can see that here on both sides. So they just cut this way so you can see both sides, but normally it's gonna be just like that. So the back or the dorsal or the posterior will be on this side. So the spinal cord is divided into parts. The gray matter is in the middle and the white matter is outside. That's the first thing. The second thing is that it has branches. You see these branches. Now, because this is the front, this branch on the front will be called anterior or ventral part. So that's why this is a root called anterior root. This one on the back, posterior root. The anterior root is attached to the gray matter by the anterior rootlets. And the posterior root is attached to the gray matter by the posterior rootlets. And the bump here is called the dorsal root ganglion. Remember, the posterior is also called dorsal. Then on the gray matter, it has little branches. Each branch is called a horn. So the horn on the front, the ventral, is called the ventral horn. The one to the side is called the lateral horn. And the one on the back is called the dorsal horn. Anterior horn, dorsal horn or posterior horn, lateral horn. Then the two sides of the spinal cord are connected by a commissure. The one in the middle is called the gray commissure. The one around it is called the white commissure. Then the white matter is divided into columns, just like a column. The one in the anterior is called anterior column. The one to the side is called the lateral column. The one on the back is called the posterior column or dorsal column. Then when the branches come out, like we said here, this will be the ventral or anterior root, the dorsal or posterior root. And when they come, they meet at the spot to become the nerve, the spinal nerve. We have 31 pairs of spinal nerves. Again, these spinal nerves, this spinal nerve is the mixture of sensory and motor. The sensory will be on the back side, the sensory coming to the back. And when they come to the dorsal horn to communicate with the interneuron that will go to the ventral horn or anterior horn to talk to the motor neuron that will come out through the anterior root this way. And the two will come and mix here. Again, we have the gray matter. The gray matter is gray because it has cell bodies, neurosoma of neurons. Here on the anterior, it will have the neurosoma of motor neuron. Here on the posterior one, it will have the neurosoma of interneuron that communicate with the sensory neuron coming through the dorsal horn in the gray matter. In the middle, we have a hole called the central canal. Then on the front side, you can see here, there's a space here. I can put something inside. This is called the anterior median fissure. The anterior median fissure. And on the back side, it's not a fissure, it's a sulcus. It's just not going to be deep. That will be the posterior median sulcus. Okay? So you can see the spinal cord, white matter, gray matter. White matter divided into column, anterior column, lateral column, posterior column. Anterior horn, lateral horn, posterior horn. Anterior root, posterior root. Posterior dorsal root ganglia, and the mixed nerve. Again, we have the nerve, mixed nerve here, and we have little branches called rami, ramus, one ramus. So the one on the back is called the dorsal or posterior ramus. The ones in the front are called anterior rami. Remember ramus, rami. Okay, gray matter, white matter, horn, column, mixed nerve, anterior, posterior. All right, thank you for watching. See you.